Then I asked Mother Miranda, so let me get this straight, my daughters raped Ethan Winters? And then she said yes, but we didn't find out about it until much later after they had his children. And then I asked what happened exactly, and then Mother Miranda explained that he started talking to them while your wife Alcina Dimitrescu kept him prisoner, and your daughter Cassandra started talking to him, and they developed a bond and fell in love. During his captivity he made love to Cassandra, but her sisters saw everything, and with desire and lust in their hearts they came inside the room while he was naked, and they held him down and took him. And then I said how shameful, and then I asked her, so that's why he's not dead yet? And then Mother Miranda said yes, definitely, because you see your wife Alcina Dimitrescu didn't want to kill him, especially since she understood that he got your daughters pregnant. And then I asked how is his little girl Rose Winters is all right? And then Mother Miranda said they have both been fed very well, we made sure of it since me and Alcina both have great jobs, we were both able to pay for everything. And then I said good, but you all still use the money I gave you, right? And then Miranda said yes my love, but only in emergencies because we hate Umbrella, especially after your son kidnapped you on their behalf. And then I asked Mother Miranda where are my daughters now, and then she said they are here in the castle with their mother. And then I shouted loudly in anger for all to hear me, and then I said to my daughters, come here now. And then all my daughters appeared in front of me, and I asked them what did you do to this man? And then they all said we made love to him. And then Cassandra said no, I made love to him, and they both held him down and raped him. And then I said tell me the truth because I don't like liars. And then they said he was the first man we had ever seen, and he's very handsome, we were sexually attracted to him, we just couldn't resist anymore. All those nights of watching Cassandra have sex with him, and we just couldn't hold back anymore, we couldn't resist anymore. And then I said you know what you did is wrong, I taught you girls better. And then I said apologize to Ethan Winters right now. And then they both said I'm sorry Mr. Winters, and they meant it. And I said you're lucky you're my daughters, otherwise I would kill you both for this crime, but don't let it happen again. And then I said I am sorry Ethan Winters, you must understand that while I did teach my daughters how to behave, they are not accustomed to the outside world. Your daughter Rose Winters is perfectly safe and healthy, but I can't allow you to leave her with your memories intact, especially after what happened to you. And I can't have the cops coming around here because I don't want my family to kill innocent people like cops for example, so I will erase all the bad memories you have of this place, and I will leave the good ones intact because I must protect my family even if that means doing something like this. And then he said no, and then I put my hands on his head, and then my mold powers began to erase all his bad memories of what happened to him between him and my daughters because I didn't want any trouble, so I erased all of Ethan's bad memories. And then he passed out, and I brought Ethan's family to him, and when he woke up I set him free, and I said you are free to go, you were injured and you attacked a few of my sons and daughters, but now you are free to go, now please leave and never return. And then I watched them all walk away from our castle, and then I said to my children stand down, allow them to pass, don't harm them, they are innocent. And then all my children said in my mind yes father, we will do as you ask. And then I said in my thank you all. And then Ethan Winters and his family went back home, and I never heard from them again. And Chris Redfield came in a helicopter to rescue him, and then Chris Redfield asked were they hostile, and he said no, the opposite, actually one of his daughters fell in love with me, I just want to go home with my family, please get me out of here. And then Chris Redfield asked him did they infect you with anything? And then Ethan Winters said yes, they gave me their blood and it made me superhuman and it gave me mold powers and something else I'll explain later. Ethan Winters said to Chris Redfield but they didn't harm me, they just held me there against my will because I attacked them first after one of them took my daughter, it was another little girl but I don't remember her name, Ethan Winters said. And then after that they all went home and I never saw them again. And then me and my wives along with my children made plans to stop my son Albert Wesker from killing millions of innocent people, and that's when I decided that I will be the one to destroy all the nuclear weapons in our world because like my wives I have the powers to transform into a giant man thanks to the Cadu demon parasite inside me.